And I will see you all on the other side. Good evening, beloved children. This is your group Souls Arena. We are so delighted to be in, with, among, and as all of you, you beautiful, blooming, radiant souls, blooming with possibility, blooming with healing, blooming with integrity, blooming with forgiveness, blooming with the joy of discovery in so many ways, as we sit with, in, as, and among you, we feel as though we are in a dazzling garden, and you are all so beautiful, so very beautiful. And it is in the spirit of a garden that we have somebody who has been informing this channel all day long that she would like to come in and have loving counsel with all of you. And so we are going to step aside so that this beautiful maiden, this one called Bridget, may come forward. Please give your love and your heart and your willingness as you listen to dear Bridget. Good evening, my children in spirit. Well, Bridget is one of my names. It is one of many names. I have been called Bridget, Queen of Fairies, but there are many names given to this consciousness that I represent, a collective knowing that nature is very much alive, very much a sentient being, very much a collective and a collaborator and creative, and working in and as and toward a kind of beautiful fusion of all the elements, not only of this planet, but of all the planets, not only of this universe, but of all universes. And so you may call me Bridget, Queen of Fairies, as long as you make your promise to me that you will not restrict yourselves to that name and that name alone. I wanted to come in, or should I say, we wanted to come in, for we are a collective, to talk to you about the seasons on your planet. For some of you, there is a memory of seasons being a certain way, a certain length, seasons having a certain feeling. And with what you call climate change, the seasons appear to be changing. It has become a little bit harder, more challenging for you as human beings, sometimes to get your bearings. What season is it? It's unseasonably warm for December, or it's unseasonably cool for April. These are the words that we will hear you say. We understand that it must be challenging because for many thousands of years, you have been in a rhythm with the seasons. You have trusted the arc of the rhythm of the seasons. You have depended on the knowing that summer will follow spring, and the autumn will follow summer, and winter will follow autumn. You have trusted this great and beautiful lineage of the seasons for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. It has been a huge part of your narrative as human beings. What season am I in now? Am I in the season of doubt? Am I in the season of tribulation? Am I in the season of celebration, of gladness, of curiosity? What season am I in? We have come to speak to you tonight to reassure you that while the seasons appear to be changing, and while, yes, it becomes unseasonably warm in January or December for those of you who are used to cool and crisp Decembers, and unseasonably cool in April and May for those of you who are used to warm and easy springs. We have come to reassure you that although the shape and the parameter and the feeling of the seasons are indeed changing, what does not change and what will never change is what we call being seasonal. Everything has a season. Every single plant, every pebble, every bird, every fish, every flying thing, every crawling insect, and yes, beloveds, every single human being has a season. And the season that is your life is a season that is given to you over and over and over again. And so while it may feel to you that your climate is changing, we assure you that your seasonal development, your ability to develop season by season, age by age, in the soul topography that each of you possess, this never changes. Each of you has been alive for thousands, millions, billions of seasons already. And look at you now, blooming once again, finding your wild places once again, feeling the air upon your cheeks once again, giving birth and dying all at the same time once again. We also come to assure you that while the seasons on the planet, while the heat and while the cold factors are indeed changing, the determination of life upon your planet, of the flower kingdom, the plant kingdom, the insect kingdom, of all the many kingdoms and queendoms, every single genus and species and phylum and class and order upon your beautiful, beautiful planet. That there is that constant overriding desire for grow, we must. Evolve, we must. Grow, we must, says the moss on every single boulder. Evolve, we must, says the robin. Grow, we must, says every dolphin. Evolve, we must, says every monarch butterfly. Everything is growing and everything is changing, and you, my dears, are no exception. Once upon a time in your consciousness, it was important to create stories about changelings, about little precious babies who would disappear and then come back and would be different somehow. And so there were stories invented about how, oh, the fairies must have come and taken that baby And now they've returned that baby to us, but that baby is somehow not ours, somehow very different. Allow us to share with you the truth, the basis of those stories of what you humans called the changelings, or what you humans referred to as the fairy queen has taken our child, that sort of thing. What was really happening, my dear cousins in spirit, is that the humanoid children in their infancy, 50,000 years ago, 60,000 years ago, that when the humanoid babies were born, they were far more used to the fourth dimension than they were the third dimension. And so they often would simply remove themselves from the third dimension and move right back over to fourth dimension and stay there for a while until they could acclimate themselves, get a little bit more self-assured about coming into third dimension. When they would return to third dimension, it was as if, well, you might say, they had their mojo back. They remembered the history of what they were. They knew without a shadow of a doubt that they were light, always evolving, always changing, always growing light. And this is how it was in the very early years of humanoid development. And thus the stories grew, the stories that were passed on in pictures and in folk tales, the stories of little babies being taken. My dears, no baby was ever taken, but babies knew how to move themselves across the bands of energy, easily moving themselves from third dimension to fourth and fifth and sixth, and then back again. What is so exciting is that many of you, newborn babies that you are, many of you human beings, are now rediscovering this beautiful ability to move yourself across dimension and then return yourself back to third dimension, wiser, funnier, more compassionate, with more brilliant ideas streaming through you. This is now becoming your way of recovery, recovering not only in terms of healing, but recovery in terms of recovering conscious knowing of the fully dimensional selves you have always been. When you were a younger race, you developed the idea of nature spirits, of fairies, and we were delighted to participate in that with you. Are we fairies? Are we nature spirits? Well, sometimes we present that way. But mostly what we are, dear cousins, is we are the life force of every living thing. We are the life force of every tiny grain of sand and every seed and every inch of grass. We are the life force, the communicative life force that moves across the boundaries and brings life in greater and greater dimension. You can call us fairies if you like. We don't mind. You can see us that way if you like. We don't mind. But what we are essentially, dear ones, is that willingness, that commitment of the life force that is in each and every one of you, that willingness to grow, to evolve, to move. And so, yes, the bud of the rose becomes that beautiful open rose. And you may say, oh, look what the fairies have done. But it is the life force that has done this. And it is the life force that you are that will continue to do this. All is one, dear ones, and all is well. It is true that the consciousness of your world is teetering. It is true that your planet is wobbling. It is true that there are many changes that you and all others on your planet are going through. And it is also true. It is also true that you are always, always evolving, no matter what. This is our promise to you. This is our song to you. This is our peace. And our peace we leave with you. And we bless you. This is your group Souls Arena. And we wanted to thank the beautiful collective energies of Bridget, Queen of Fairies, for coming in and being so descriptive and so musical. We have another one who is standing by, patiently asking for audience. This dear one is familiar to so many of you. Here is your beloved Frances. Good evening, ladies, and I am so happy that there is a gentleman here. Finally, I've been waiting. Where are all the men? I have been asking, and finally we have a gentleman caller. Thank goodness. Welcome, Steve. My name is Frances. Some of you have called me Saint Francis. I wish you wouldn't. Just call me Frances or Frankie. That will do. Just a human being, as all of you are. Just somebody who really, really lived and felt the fullness of a multidimensional life while living in my physical body. And there's something I wanted to talk to all of you about, a practice that I don't think is read about in any of your books when you read about me, because I don't believe it was ever recorded. And the reason it was never recorded is because those lofty church fathers and mothers probably would have been ashamed if it had been. So it never got written down, but I wanted to share with you a delightful practice that we used to celebrate. Perhaps you have heard of the spiritual practice of emptying out. It is said that the master teacher Jesus emptied himself while he was dying. In that beautiful act of forgiveness, he let everything go and he just allowed for forgiveness to be the fulcrum upon which his soul moved. He let everything else go. He emptied himself. And there is a great deal of talk today about emptying ourselves, cleaning our spaces, minimalizing. That's a fun word. Although when you live in nature, nothing is ever minimal, I have to tell you. Nature is not a minimalist. No, she is not. Nature is not a minimalist. Nature likes everything in abundance, but that's another story. I want to tell you about the practice that we used to do. And so I would gather us all and I would ask us all, how do you feel about a different kind of confession? And oh, everybody's eyes would open wide. What do you mean, Francis? A different kind of confession? Isn't there only one way to confess, to empty ourselves? And I would say, well, dear ones, there are many ways to empty ourselves. But let me show you now my favorite way to empty myself. Follow me, dear ones, and I would bring them down to a beautiful little, well, I suppose you'd call it a swimming hole, because it was a lovely little place where the water had gathered, and it was deep enough so that you can dive in, you could swim if you wanted to. And there, without saying a word, I would take off all of my garments and jump right in naked. And I would swim. And I would come out naked. And I would say, I have emptied myself. I have emptied myself of my outer garments. I have emptied myself of my personality. I have emptied myself of everything that I thought was limiting. I took it off and I went for a swim. And don't you know it? Everybody took their clothes off and jumped in, and it became a regular exercise. Shocking, you say? Oh my goodness. It sounds as though you were living on a kind of commune. Well, we were, in fact. Certainly we were. It was. Yes, you can describe it that way. But we had an intention that was quite pure. And that intention was to rid ourselves of that which no longer served any purpose in our lives as we understood it. And I was determined to shed my personality. I was determined to do so. I found my personality to really be a thorn in my side. I wanted to let it go. I wanted to take it off. I wanted to be rid of it. I wanted to just be a naked beam of light and nothing more. There were times, I confess, I say to you, I didn't want to be a leader. I didn't want people coming to me for counsel. I didn't want to give people advice. I simply wanted to be. I simply wanted to be and not be reined in by personality. And at that time in my existence, that was the best way I knew to divest, was to literally take the garment off and dive in. Well, many centuries have passed since I and many of my followers enjoyed this beautiful personality dropping exercise. And I have come to understand that, of course, the personality is a beautiful thing, not so weighty nor so fragile, perhaps, as I used to believe it. Not something that is a demon or not something that is particularly an angel, simply a way to move around on this planet. I've come to see personality as something that we obtain in the third dimension so that we can walk around. I've come to see personality as skin. And as I see it as skin, I celebrate it. Now, as I look at all of you, and I am aware that sometimes you struggle with your personalities. Sometimes you like your personalities, but sometimes you do wish that you could just shuffle off that mortal coil of personality. Just jump right out of your skin and just be free. Just be that very light that you are. Well, there's one way to do it, beloved ones. Take your clothes off and jump in a pond. Oh, I'm only kidding. I know that's not possible for many of you. But truly, the way to work with personality, and you have been told this before, is to love it and to see it for what it is, your temporary skin, that's all. And so you can treat your personality the way you would treat your skin. Make sure you don't get too much sun. Make sure you don't get burned out. In other words, your personality cannot be in the world too much. Do not be too much in the world. That's like getting a sunburn for your skin. Make sure that you give your personality time out. Make sure that you protect your personality from the rays of the sun. Make sure that you give your personality all the emotional support it needs. You do this for your skin, do you not? When you drink water, well, drink living water for your personality. Take care of it. It's a beautiful envelope, and it's there to help you succeed. It's there to help you bring love where love appears not to be, and to help you bring light where darkness seems to be. It is a beautiful thing, your skin, your personality. And I love each and every one of yours. Each and every one of you are endowed with beautiful skin and beautiful personalities. Now, when you are ready and you would like the spiritual exercise of taking that personality off, you let me know. There is a pool. I will meet you there. Blessings. And this is your group Souls Arena, and we wanted to thank our Francis for this beautiful, beautiful teaching on personality, on skin, and the desire to be free. We have another speaker who has come forward. Many of you know this speaker well. This is the Yeshua Collective coming forward to speak, not only in the Yeshua persona, but in the persona of Lakshmi, not only as Lakshmi, but as Kuan Yin, not only as Kuan Yin, but as Krishna, not only as Krishna, but as Isis, not only as Isis, but as Buddha, not only as Buddha, but as Muhammad, not only as Muhammad, but as Moses, not only as Moses, but as Oshun, not only as Oshun, but as the Great Spirit. And so for all these very names of the divine, your group Souls Arena is stepping to the side so that the divine collective of personality may speak. Greetings, beloved ones. Our voices are many. For some of you, we may sound like the rush of thunder. For some of you, we may sound like a gentle rain. We will come in as deep or as light as you are willing for us to come. We bring a message which you have heard many times in many lands and many locations and many languages. The Rabbi Jesus said it this way. The Rabbi Jesus said, "In the world you will find tribulation, but be not afraid. I have overcome the world." We are taking this beautiful statement of the Rabbi and interpolating it so that it reads something like this. In the world, we have all found tribulation, but we are not afraid because we have overcome the world. Truly, beloved ones, we have. Truly, beloved ones, There is a collective of ascended mastery that is here, that is a combination of every single school of philosophy that you have ever been involved in. Every single school of endeavor, every single school of thought, every aspect of your religious and spiritual training, it is all here. The Gnostic part of you is here. The atheist part of you is here. The pagan aspect of you is here. The indwelling knower of you is here. And what we, as your masterful divinity, have to say is, yes, the third dimension is a dimension of limit, a dimension where things get shook up, a dimension of decay, a dimension of conflict, and we, all of us together, have overcome this and will overcome it over and over and over again. For so many thousands of years, the sabers and the swords have rattled, and then we have overcome the sounds of war with the beautiful, masterful, echoing message of peace. We have done so over and over, and we will continue to do so over and over and over again. Your world that you are living in right now is not at a climax. Please know your world, the one that you are living right now, is at a beginning. This is merely the beginning of an earth song that is deep and lasting and pays tribute to the divinity of your nature. And you, dear ones, along with every blade of grass and every bird and every swan and every fox and every creature and every tree and every boulder, you, all of us together, we are at the beginning and we are overcoming now. Now we are overcoming now. You have a phrase in your world and we're going to adopt it. You say, and I leave that with you. We're going to say that too, only we will say, and we leave that with you. But as we do so, dear ones, know that we do not leave you by yourselves, for we are constantly with you, constantly as you, constantly raising you, constantly celebrating your beautiful and ongoing evolution. Be not afraid. Be not afraid. You are already overcoming. You have overcome. You have borne witness to the eternal love that you already are. What an amazing accomplishment. And we love you and we bless you. And this is your group Souls Arena, and we wanted to thank this beautiful, masterful collective. And we have one more exercise. Our dear beloved Brother Francis has asked if we would come meet him at the pool. We're going to step aside and allow our Brother Francis to take things forward. Well, I told you I'd be back, didn't I? I hope that you heard that. I didn't have every intention of just leaving you with that thought of meeting you by a pool someday. No, I want to meet you there tonight. I want to meet you there now. So who's feeling brave? Who's feeling ready? Who wants to have that delicious feeling of taking off all of your clothing, everything you think you know about yourself, and taking a dive into the deep with me, your swimming buddy? Who feels like it? And if you don't feel like it, you don't have to. But oh, I can tell that everybody's smiling and everybody is sensing that, yes, yes, Frankie, I'm ready for an adventure. All right, then. Do you see that beautiful pool? For some of you, it's deep in the woods. It's a deep, spring-fed pool. For some of you, it's an actual swimming pool. For some of you, it might be a lake, but some of you, it might be an ocean. It's a pool of your own making. Personally, I go into the woods and I find my pool that is fed by a beautiful spring. The animals love that pool, and so that's where I go. But you can go wherever you want. But wherever you go, know that we are doing this together. Come with me, walk with me. Take your shoes off so that you can feel the ground or the sand underneath you. Feel and know the moss underneath your feet, cradling you. Feel and know that dark, rich sand underneath you, helping you to move forward. Come to the water's edge with me. Look over into the water with me. The water is so beautiful. And there is a sense of joyful familiarity as you look into the water. It mirrors back, of course, the light that you are. Look at the water. Look at your light. Look at what you really look like. Look at the light that you are. And now slowly, slowly, take those clothes off. Take those shoes and socks and undergarments and take it all off. And as you do so, know that you are giving yourself the experience, the blessed, beautiful experience of taking your personality off. You're just going to take it right off. It's like taking off a wig or taking off a bracelet, taking off a blanket. You're just going to take it right off. And you're just going to leave it there by the side of the pool or the pond or the ocean or the lake or the river. Wherever you are, know that your personality is safe. Nobody will take it. You can just leave it right there. I've left mine there. Doesn't it feel good to stand absolutely naked as the light that you are? And now, dear ones, who wants to swim? Dive or jump or slide, whatever you want. Move yourself into this delicious river of light, this living water, this water that supports you, this water of well-being, this water, this fluid that holds you, that recognizes that you are light and you have always been light. And there is never a time, nor will there never come a time, when you will cease to be light. You are pure light. And as you swim deeply in this beautiful, beautiful ocean or pond or pool or river, knowing that you are swimming once again in the amniotic fluid of your own becoming, knowing that this is what it's like to give birth to yourself all over again. Only this is a kind of birthing in which you birth yourself as light. You allow yourself to be light. What is your name? Your name is light. Your name is light. Precious ones, enjoy these moments. Float. Allow yourself to be. And now, beloveds, I invite you to come on in from the pool. Let's all get back up on dry land. And let's look at our sweet personalities that we left there on the land. And let's hold them up so that we can see how beautiful they are. Who planted these personalities? We did. Who grew these personalities? We did. These personalities are the garden we are. And so, yes, naturally, we step right back into them. We enfold ourselves in this beautiful clothing. We say yes. Yes to being fully light, fully divine, and yes to having this beautiful clothing, this personality, so that we can walk around on planet Earth and attend to all of our classes and say what needs to be said and do what needs to be done and see what needs to be seen and practice what needs to be practiced, so that we can pass the gospel of truth on to everyone, to everything. We are light. We are light. We always have been. We always will be. And now is just the beginning. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Dear ones, I love you so. Bless you. And it's your group souls arena. We wanted to thank our dear Francis for leading us in that beautiful meditation. We now invite ourselves. We invite each and every one of you. And there are energies here that are not in their human bodies, but dear friends and dear relatives and dear ones who have left their human bodies and have moved on to fourth dimensional plane. We don't want to forget all of our friends here, but we invite all of us here now to move our focus, those of us who have bodies, to come back to our physical bodies. Those of us who do not have bodies, to simply come back to our intentional focus. And those of us who have bodies, we will remember that we have feet, and we will feel our feet and our toes. We will feel our knees, and we will feel our hands. We will feel the hairs upon our heads. We will be blessed as we remember that we are here to celebrate every inch of our humanity and every inch of our divinity. And for all of this and more, for what we can't even imagine yet, we are blessed. We say thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste, dear ones.